Hello, so I welcome you all in this semester 2 of physics course of Santa Gadge Baba Amravati University Amravati. Today onwards we shall start unit number 4, and the name of this unit number 4 is motion of charged particles. Motion of charged particles. Motion of charged particles in electric and magnetic fields. In electric and magnetic fields. So actually in physics we come across various elementary particles and the fundamental particles. The example of these elementary particles and fundamental particles are alpha particles, beta particles, okay. There are protons, electrons, neutrons. Neutron is not a charged particle, okay. So there exist alpha particles, beta particles, electrons are also called as the beta particles, right. There are protons, electrons, neutrons and many more fundamental particles, the particles which we receive from the space, okay. These particles are sometimes called as the cosmic rays, okay. So our physics or universe is filled with all such sort of particles, and we have to always wish to determine the properties of this particle. Now the fundamental thing is that we cannot observe these particular particles, okay, because the size of these particular particles is very small. You can imagine that if you know that the basic building block of the nature is atom, okay. All material is made with the help of atom, and if you see the size of the atom is nearly 1 angstrom or 10 raised to minus 10 meter approximately, right. So this is the size of the atom as a whole, okay, and we know that atom consists of the electrons which revolve in the circular orbits, and there exists a central unit which is called as a nucleus. This is called as nucleus. And what is the size of this nucleus? The size of this nucleus is about 10 raised to minus 15 meters or 1 femtometers, okay. And in this nucleus there are so many protons, so many neutrons, so you can imagine that what would be the size of these particular particles, okay. So what we want to convey is that the size of this particular particle is very small, and we have no method to directly observe these particular particles. So what we have to do? We have to understand the properties of this particle, then only we will be able to explain the complete nature of the universe, right. So in order to understand the properties of these particular particles, what we have to do? We have to see that is there any indirect method to determine the properties of these particular particles. So yes, there exist some indirect methods, okay. What we can do, even if we cannot directly see such particles, we can study the behavior of these particles in electric field and magnetic field. Why? Because these particles behave differently in electric field and magnetic field. So thereby, by understanding the properties or behavior of these particles in these electric field and magnetic field, we will be able to understand the complete properties of these fundamental particles, and after that we will be able to explain the secrets of the universe as a whole, right. So this is why we need to understand the properties of these particles, and mostly these particles are nothing but the charged particles. Therefore what we will do? We will study the motion of these charged particles in electric field and magnetic field. So how they behave in electric field, how they behave in the magnetic field, right. So this will be our target in this particular unit. So before starting the actual unit, we shall see first of all some of the basic definitions, okay. So we know that now we are going to study the motion of the charged particle, okay. So charged particle, we have some positive charged particle. The examples are protons, okay, and there exist some negative charge particles. And the famous example is electron, okay. Now what is the charge on this particular electron and what is the charge on this particular proton? The charge on electron and proton is 1e, okay. And what is the value of E? E is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. So this is the minute charge which is deposited on one electron and which is deposited on the one proton. Now since the electron is negatively charged particle, the charge on the electron is denoted by negative sign. So what is the charge on the electron? It will be minus 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. And since the proton is a positively charged particle by convention, therefore the charge on the proton is denoted by plus 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb, right? Generally, we do not use the symbols, specific symbol for proton and electron. What we will do, we will use a general symbol, and the general symbol is small q. Okay, small q, sometimes capital Q, like that. So if I want to say that this is the electron, then the charge on this electron will be minus q, and if I say that this is a proton, then the charge on this particular proton will be plus q. Okay, now let us consider that all these things we already know, right? We are just doing some sort of revision, right? So let us consider that this is a space. Okay, this is a space, and in this space I have deposited one particular charge, suppose plus q. So there is a charge plus q in the space. Now what it will do, actually we know that if there is a charge plus q in the space, and if we bring some another charge plus q to its nearby, then what will happen? There will be the electric force exerted by this charge on this charge. Okay, this particular electric force, why there is a electric force? Because there is a coulombic, this particular electric force is called as a coulombic electric force, okay, or the coulombic electrostatic force, because both the charges are in the position of rest, if we assume, right? So there exists a electric force between these two charges. We know that since both the charges are positive, then the electric force will be of repulsive kind of thing, right? If one of the charge is negative, if one of the charge is positive, and if another charge is negative, then there will be the force of attraction. Okay, so there will be the electric force of attraction, there will be the electric force of repulsion, right? Now you see that both these charges are separated by some distance, right? Now if they are separated by this distance, how they are experiencing the force? Okay, so that was the biggest question at that time in the 19th century or the 18th century. Okay, and this particular problem was solved because these two charged particles are not touching each other. Okay, this particular charged particle is not directly exerting any kind of force on this particular charged particle, and this particular charged particle is also not exerting any direct force on this particular charged particle. Then how it is happening that this charged particle is experiencing some kind of force, and this charged particle will also experience some kind of force? Okay, so such a type of force are called as a force due to action at a distance. Okay, force due to action at a distance. And in order to explain the existence of the force, even if these two charged particles are not directly touching each other, okay, the concept of electric field was introduced. Okay, the concept of electric field was introduced. So it was stated that since both the charged particle, they create the electric field in the surrounding region, okay, they experience some kind of electric force, right? Now how this electric field is represented, right? So suppose there is a charged particle plus q, what it will do? It will create the electric field in the surrounding region. Now how this electric field will be represented? This electric field will be represented by drawing the electric lines of forces, by drawing the electric lines of forces. All these things you have studied in the 12th standard. Okay, so if there is a positive charge, the electric lines of forces originate from the positive charge, and it will go into the infinity, and it will go into the outward direction. So what will be the direction of these electric lines of forces? So it is directed outward from the positive charge. It is directed outward from the positive charge. Okay, so these are the electric field lines, or electric lines of forces. These electric lines of forces are also sometimes called as the electric field lines. Okay, now since this particular charge is represented by drawing the electric lines of forces, similarly if we bring any other charge, this charge will also create the electric field, and its electric field will also be represented by drawing the electric lines of forces. So there will be the electric lines of forces on this particular charge also, and since this charge is positive charge, again these electric lines of forces will be originate from the positive charge and will be directed away from the positive charge. Now where it will go? It will go into the infinity actually. Okay, it will go into the infinity. Now you can easily see, even if these two charged particles do not touch each other, but the electric lines of forces which are originating from this positive charge, they will touch each other somewhere, okay, they will cross each other. Now the point at which they cross each other, because of this, actually means because there is a because of the intersection of these electric lines of forces, okay, or because what we can say that because these electric lines of forces cross each other, then only because of this only this charged particle experience some kind of force, and this charged particle also experience some kind of force. If the electric lines of forces are not crossing each other at any point of time, then no charged particle can experience the force. So how this charged particle is experiencing the force? Actually, because the electric force lines which are originating from the charged particle, they cross in the space at some point of time, and because of that both the charged particle has a feeling of attracting or repulsing, okay. If the charged particles are having the same sign, then they will repel each other, and if the charged particle are of opposite sign, then they will attract each other, okay. So this is the way in which we can represent the force of attraction, or the electric force of attraction and electric force of repulsion, right? Fine. So how we can now again, since we have represented this electric field by drawing the electric lines of forces, we can again define the number of electric lines of forces passing per unit area. Suppose this is the unit area, and in this particular unit area how many number of electric lines of forces are passing? The number of electric lines of forces passing per unit area is called as the electric flux, is called as electric flux, okay. So if a particular unit area has large number of electric lines of forces, then we can say that this particular area will having the large electric flux, and if there are less number of electric lines of forces, then we can say that this particular area is having less number of electric flux, less amount of electric flux, okay. Now see, this is the representation of electric lines of forces for one charge. Now suppose there are two charges, suppose at this particular point only, then how these electric lines of forces will be represented? It will be doubled now, it will be doubled. So if the number of charges increases at a one particular point in space, then the electric lines of forces which are emanating from this particular point will be increased, or it will be crowded. So for large number of charged particles, we will be having crowded electric lines of forces originating from that particular charge, and if there are less number of charges, then the electric lines of forces will also be less crowded, okay. So here you can easily see that since the electric lines of forces are crowded, we can say that here the electric field is strong, okay, or whatever electric force will be experienced by this particular particle will be more than the previous one, because here now the electric lines of forces are crowded, more lines will interfere or will cross with the electric lines of forces of the other charged particle, and therefore the amount of force which is experienced by the other charged particle will also be more, okay. So this is the representation of electric lines of forces or the electric field in general. Now if we want to determine, or if we want to define what is meant by electric field, so now we are now in a position to define this electric field. Okay, so what is electric field? So by definition, the region around a charge, or charge body, okay, the region around the charge in space in which another charge experiences electric force, is called electric field, So how to define electric field? It is the region around the charged particle. So suppose that there is a charged particle in space, okay, so we have to find in which region, okay, or we have to see that this charged particle will be located by the region, okay, there will be the region surrounding this charged particle. Now how much region? Up to which another charged particle. So if we bring any other charged particle if we bring some other charged particle into this particular region, then this other charged particle should experience the electric force. Okay, should experience the electric force, then that particular region is called as the electric field. That particular region is called as the electric field. And whenever, what we can normally say, that if the charged particle comes into the electric field, it will experience some electric force. If the charged particle is not in the electric field, then it will not experience any electric force. And what is the minute thing which are going to happen in this particular phenomena? So this minute thing is represented here. Okay, because every charged particle will be replaced by the electric lines of forces, and these electric lines of forces will cross over each other at some point of time, and because of that there will be the force of attraction and there will be the force of repulsion, right? So this is the definition of electric field. Okay, now there is another definition, electric field intensity. Electric field intensity, it is denoted by E, vector E, electric field intensity. Now how to define the electric field intensity? So the definition is very simple. The electric field intensity is defined as electric force per unit test charge, okay, the electric force per unit test charge is called as the electric field intensity. Remember that this electric field intensity is a vector quantity, okay, because the electric force is a vector quantity. It depends on magnitude as well as direction, or it is having magnitude as well as direction, and therefore we call it as a vector quantity. Okay, so how to understand this? You see, suppose now we are using the another term, test charge. Okay, so test charge means what? The charge on which we are determining the force. Okay, so that particular charge is called as a test charge. So in this case, we have initially we were having initially this amount of charge. So what we will do, we will represent the charge, this particular charge, by a letter Q. Okay, this is a charge which is creating the electric field. Okay, so since this is a charge, it will create the electric field. Okay, so the region around this particular charge in which another charge can experience the electric force is called as the electric field. So there will be the electric field over here. Okay, there will be the electric field over here, right? And if we bring any other charge, so this charge is called as a test charge. Okay, so if we bring any other charge and if this charge experiences the electric force, then we can say that this particular charge is in the electric field of this particular charge, right? Now you see, if we bring the other charge in the electric field of this charge, there will be the electric force. Okay, there will be the electric force. Since both the charges are like charges, there will be the repulsive force. So this electric force, and what is the magnitude of this electric force? We know that this electric force is directly proportional to small q, capital Q divided by r square. Means this force is directly proportional to the product of charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between these two charged particles. Okay, and this F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. So if you want to remove this proportionality sign, then this will be replaced by this constant 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. Okay, now what we are looking at? We are looking at the definition of electric field intensity. Now what is this electric field intensity? Electric field intensity is equal to, it is the electric force per unit test charge. What is the electric force? Electric force is denoted by capital F. It is vector F. Remember, this is also vector, right? So it is the force per unit test charge. What is the amount of test charge? It is Q. So E is equal to F divided by Q. So this is the formula for electric field intensity, or intensity of electric field, or electric field intensity. Okay. Now what is the unit of this force? The unit of this force is Newton. What will be the unit of electric field intensity then? The unit of electric field intensity will be Newton per Coulomb, because the unit of this charge is Coulomb. So Newton per Coulomb is the unit of electric field intensity. Okay. Now there is another definition, uniform electric field. Uniform electric field. Okay, so what could be the definition of uniform electric field? So if the value of electric field intensity, if the value of E, electric field intensity, is same everywhere in space. If the value of electric field intensity is same everywhere in space, then that particular electric field is called as a uniform electric field, or constant uniform electric field, or stationary electric field. Okay, so suppose that in one particular region we are having the distribution of charges. For example, you know the example of capacitor, right? So suppose that there is a one plate, and suppose there is another plate. On this plate, suppose I have deposited positive charges, and on this plate, suppose I have deposited equal number of negative charges. Then what will happen? There will be the electric force lines, okay, originating from positive to the negative. So there will be the electric force lines or electric field lines, and these electric field lines will be denoted like this. Okay, we are considering that these plates are far away from each other, so that these electric lines of forces are nearly parallel. Okay, now in this case, the value of electric field intensity is same here, it is same here, it is same here, it is same everywhere, and therefore such a electric field will be called as a stationary electric field, or uniform electric field, or constant electric field, right? There exists another non-uniform electric field also. Non-uniform electric field can change with respect to time and with respect to space also. Means suppose at one particular point the electric field will be different, at another point the electric field will be different. So in this particular case, the electric field is changing with respect to position, with respect to space. So therefore such a electric field will be called as a space varying electric field. And suppose with respect to time, suppose the electric field is changing. Suppose at a t equal to 0 second, the electric field is having some value at this particular position, but at t equal to 5 seconds, the electric field is having some kind of different value. So such a electric field will also be a non-uniform electric field, but in this case the non-uniformity is due to the time. Okay, because of the time we are changing, the electric field is also changing. So such a electric field will be called as a time varying electric field. Okay, so